Easy On Spray Starch. The new push-button starch. Spray it, iron instantly. New Easy On Spray Starch presents The Secret Storm.
Delighted to see you, Myra. You know, this is an unexpected pleasure.
Well, it was so warm I thought I'd take a walk, and first thing I knew, here I was at the lodge.
Good for you. Come and sit down. I suppose your father wanted to go to bed early after the trip out here. By the way, what does he think of our countryside?
As a matter of fact, he liked it so much, he took off in the car with Amy to see more of it.
You don't mean it.
No, not really. I think Amy convinced him to go to the movies. At any rate, that's where they are.
And I guess you were too tired to go after your house-cleaning day.
I'd already seen the movie. Well, at any rate, it'll give Dad a chance to get acquainted with Amy.
Yes, I see.
Oh, where's Nancy? I haven't seen her around.
Oh, Nancy has gone into the village for a few errands. She'll be along in a minute. Would you like a cup of coffee? I think Katie's still in the kitchen.
Oh, thank you, Grace, not a thing. I thought you might like to know I talked to Peter earlier in the evening.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. He said that he's going to stay in Woodbridge until Pauline arrives. It means he'll be a little late coming out on the weekend, at least until Saturday, but... Well, I think it's the right thing to do, don't you, Grace? Somebody should be there to meet Pauline.
Yes, I suppose so, but she didn't notify the family when she left for Europe.
Well, she was pretty upset at the time. I think she's feeling much better now, according to her letters.
A postal card, you mean? You know, my daughter was never prone to being too considerate of other people, no matter how considerate they are of her. And I'm sure that Susan will stay in town over the weekend, too. She couldn't possibly miss meeting her aunt on arrival, no matter how Alan may feel about it.
Grace, you're still very bitter about Pauline, aren't you?
I try not to give it too much thought, one way or the other.
I know how much you hated the scandal that Pauline threatened, but do you still want her to take Brian back, even after what happened at the store?
Myra, dear, I never had any illusions about Brian Fuller, and I don't think that Pauline had, but she loved the man. I don't think she wanted the divorce. She just wanted revenge against Lucy Stokes.
Well, that's one problem that she won't have to face now.
Why? Well, what do you mean?
Peter tells me that she's resigned from the store.
Leaving Tyrrell?
Just happened today. She walked into Peter's office and confessed her part in the embezzlement.
Yes, we suspected as much. Anyone who's that close to Brian is bound to become involved. Huh? So the girl is leaving. Well, that should simplify Pauline's decision. Lucy Stokes steps out of the picture, and we refrain from revealing to a full extent Brian's manipulations at the store. Oh, Myra, I just hope that Peter and I are doing the right thing.
Well, right or wrong, you're doing the kindest thing for Pauline. At least you know you're not wrecking her life, her marriage, without giving it a chance.
Feeling better?
Thank you for making me eat something, Joe, before letting me talk.
The state you were in, you wouldn't have made very much sense.
I'm not sure I will even now. I hardly know where to start.
Well, considering how reluctant you were to come out with me tonight, we sure left your apartment like a shot out of a cannon. You might begin by telling me what we're running away from in such a hurry.
Brian, I wasn't expecting him. I opened the door thinking it was you, and...
I see. You had a quarrel.
No, not a quarrel. It's gone so far beyond that, Joe.
I know you were thinking of breaking off with Brian.
Oh, these last months have been like walls closing in on me. One nightmare after another. I just couldn't go on with it any longer. And not only for my sake, Joe, for yours, too.
Me?
It's bad enough what I've done to myself. Then when I saw what was happening to you, my lies poisoning your life and your friendship with Peter Ames.
Well, I said I could handle my own affairs.
I made it impossible for you to do that now. You had to give me your word that you wouldn't tell anyone my secret.
Well, it's not important now.
And I didn't care what that promise would cost. No, never mind, just as long as I protected myself.
Well, not yourself. You were protecting Brian.
It's the same thing.
Well, love is blind in a lot of ways.
Not only blind. My love was selfish and destructive. I don't deny it, Joe. Because you were the one who said to me that, well, my feelings for Brian were twisting my values. I don't say that I was ever the best person in the world. Or I guess that I've always been lonely and weak.
Lucy, you don't have to tell me this.
You know why I tell you now, don't you? Because it's over. I've done the thing that you wanted.
You've really broken off with Brian?
Oh, I know I've tried before, and I wasn't able to make it stick. I'd make up my mind, and... oh, how is it you put it? I'd get strength from you, and then I'd see Brian, and it was just as if you never opened your mouth.
No one has the right to tell somebody else what to do. I realize that more and more. It's the thing that we must find within us. We must make our decisions internally.
Well, Joe, I've confessed to Peter Ames. It's done. This afternoon, I told him about my whole part in the embezzlement.
Oh, Lucy, I'm glad.
So he understands about you now. He knows why you couldn't tell him because of your solemn promise to me.
Well, that's not why I'm glad. But that you found the courage to go to Peter yourself.
He was kind. Well, you knew he'd be kind. But it wouldn't have mattered because I was willing to go to prison. I was ready to suffer anything that I had to.
Oh, but you've already done your suffering.
He didn't fire me. He didn't even rush my resignation. I agreed to let him know. Then when I went back to Brian's office, I suddenly realized I couldn't go on working for him another day. Not another 5 minutes, so I left a note on his desk.
And that's why Brian came to your apartment tonight.
I told him it was finished. And even when he kissed me, it was still finished. I don't understand it, Joe. I still love him. But I'm free.
And the truth shall set them free. I'm so thankful, Lucy. Now I can leave with a clear heart.
Leave?
Yeah, for a few days. I've got a question of my own to settle. Some people I have to see.
Where are you going?
Let me tell you when I come back. You can manage for a few days.
Oh, yes, I can manage. Whatever is necessary now.
Yeah. The important decision for you has been made.
With your help.
With God's help. May He help me make mine.
Thank you for coming over tonight, Myra, dear.
And thank you for Katie's cake.
You're very welcome.
I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything. Peter's phoning me from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure Pauline will phone you the minute she arrives.
Perhaps.
Oh, you know she will. Grace, you are going to talk to her, aren't you?
Perhaps.
Surely by now you can forgive.
But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't know what her attitude will be.
Well, it's your attitude that counts.
Well, it didn't count with my daughter before, and I very much doubt if it'll count with her now.
Myra, what a pleasant surprise.
Hello.
Well, I just ran into your family down in the village.
Oh?
On the way to the movies. And Amy stopped and introduced me to your father. He's absolutely charming. He almost persuaded me to go with them.
Oh, Nancy, darling, now why didn't you go?
Because I knew that you'd be sitting up until midnight knitting. And the doctor said that
I
you were
was not to be crossed at every move I make. You know, Myra, between Nancy and Katie, my life is being ruled by a pair of tyrants.
Oh, good night. I'll call you in the morning.
Are you walking? The car's right outside. I'll drive you.
Oh, thank you, no, Nancy.